Hey, what's up, bros and brosettes? We're going to be doing a radiator install on my 2006 WRX. It's a Mishimoto X-Line radiator, and it's probably going to require some trimming on the hoses. I got some new Grimspeed hoses also. Did a little review if you want to check that out. That's it, let's get to it. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is jack your car up. That way you can get underneath and drain all the fluid from the radiator, if there is any still, as long as the hose haven't broke. But if you're just installing an aftermarket radiator like I am, you'll go ahead and jack it up and drain it. Probably shouldn't do this, but my fluid's not too old, so I'm actually gonna drain it into this bucket here and try to reuse it. But I also have some new fluid and some distilled water. You gotta mix 50-50. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this hose on the bottom here. I'll show you guys that next. So the first thing you guys are gonna wanna do is disconnect this hose right here and drain all the fluid into whatever container you have. So you'll just let that drain out for a little while. Once you remove the radiator cap, it's going to drain a lot more. So after that, you're going to need to take off this reservoir bottle right here. There's a little clip right in here. You just push it and it'll pop right out. And just take this tube out. And then you can just set this off to the side. Next thing will be these two bolts. Those are the radiator stays. They're two 13mm bolts so that you can lift the radiator out, and they're the only things really holding it in besides some rubber grommets. I always put the bolts back in the holes so that you don't lose them. Just go ahead and set these on the side. You're going to be using them for your radiator after you put the new one back on. Unless you've blown a hose or something, the fluid's gonna take a little while to drain, probably like 10-15 minutes, but you can start taking this top hose off right here. And it's just held on by these two clamps, one right here and one right here. So if you're replacing the hose, you could go ahead and take this front part off until you get the radiator out. And then you could go ahead and get that. It'll be a little bit more room for you to pull on. Then you also got to disconnect these two hoses and then this hose right here. Alright, so now that I got these two hoses disconnected and moved out of the way, I'm going to disconnect this little guy. This is from the overflow tank, and since most of the fluid is draining out of the engine now, so I'm just going to go ahead and just pull up and lift this out. Might take a little bit of wiggling, so you also got to disconnect this hose off of the radiator. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disconnect this hard metal hose from the radiator. That way I could get it around this power steering line. They're both pretty hard, so it's hard to wiggle them around. So I'm going to unbolt these two so I could get it out of the way. So once you have the two little 10mm bolts out of the way, you could take this line and pull it through. Then just set that to the side because you're going to be bolting it on the new radiator. Now you're going to take this little gray clip connecting to the fan out, and then there's one on the other side also, right under this bracket right here. You'll just take those two clips off, that way you could pull the radiator out. So now I have these two little gray clips disconnected from the radiator fans. Now you could go ahead and pull the radiator out. It's got some rubber grommets in the bottom, so it'll take a little effort to get out. So I had to take this top hose off all the way just to have enough room to get this radiator out, but now it should slip right out. So now I'm going to take the time to get this bottom hose out now that I got the radiator out of the way and it's pretty much finished draining. If you're pretty particular like I am, you'll take the opportunity to clean this bottom part. So I got this hose off now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little wire brush and I'm going to clean the surface of this because there's a little bit of gunk on there. That way it has a good surface to mate to the new radiator hoses, and I'm going to do the same thing to this one as well. So the next step is going to be transferring these fans over to the new radiator. Each fan has two bolts at the top, and then they just go into these holes that are in the bottom of the radiator. You want to put each one in the exact same place because they have the plugs sticking out the side. where they're supposed to go. When you're tightening these bolts, don't go too crazy because this is an aluminum radiator and you will strip the threads if you go too crazy tightening it. I bought this radiator used. I don't know if it actually comes with the hardware or not, but I had to use different bolts to bolt my fan up. I don't know exactly what size they are, but I just happen to have them and they worked, so but I'm sure that it might come with them. So now I'm going to start by putting this new Grimspeed radiator hose back on. They are directional, so you want to do the longer curved piece. It leads to the part like this. That way it'll mate with the radiator. When you're doing this part, you want to put the clip on, but you don't want to tighten it. That way you can wiggle this hose around when you're trying to put the radiator in. That way you can just adjust it super easily. Don't have to mess with screwing in and unscrewing it. You could go ahead and put the radiator back in. Once you're putting it in, you might want to crawl underneath. That way you can make sure the radiator sits in those two grommets or it's not going to sit right. And then you can start connecting the hoses again. One thing you're going to have to note is with this X-line radiator, it's a little bit thicker than the stock. So you're going to have to trim this bottom hose a little bit and probably the top one too so it doesn't rub on here. Make sure when you're cutting it that you cut it really even so that surface is matte well together. Be careful when you're cutting because you don't want to cut too much because then you'll have to buy some new hoses. When you're putting the fans on, make sure you don't put a bolt in this fan on the right on the left bolt because that bolt connects this tube back to the radiator and then this bolt connects to right here. So when you're attaching that, just make sure to leave this bolt out until you put this tube back on. So as with the bottom part, I had to trim a little bit off this part and this part, keep it from rubbing in here and on this fan right here. As you can see, it's a pretty tight fit right there. Shouldn't have any rubbing, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. Another thing I needed to do was put a worm clamp here because the stock clamp didn't fit on this little guy. And the last thing I need to do is get a longer hose from AutoZone tomorrow. This doesn't quite reach up to this hose. Other than that, it's pretty much in. You just got to put the radiator stays back in. The hose trimming, you might not have to do that with a regular size radiator, but this one's a X-line, so it's a little bit thicker than the stock, as you can see. I'll show you the difference. Here's the Mishimoto, and then stock is quite a bit thinner. Not sure the exact specs, but after that, what you'll do, I'm not going to show you right now because I'm in the middle of putting in my new turbo, so I can't really fill the radiator up yet, but when you're done, first you'll fill the radiator with coolant, and then you'll fill this guy up with coolant. I would fill all the radiator all the way to the top, fill that guy all the way to the top. So a couple tips when wrapping up this install is, the one, you gotta make sure that you burp the system, which means getting all the trapped air out. A good way to do this is, if you look over here, so a good way to do this is to stick a funnel in this overflow tank. They make special funnels for the radiator, but if you don't want to go out and buy one or you don't have the money or whatever, you could just use a regular funnel like this, stick it in the top like this, and then wrap a towel around it because it will get a little bit of spillage out of there, and just to keep it up because when the fluid starts getting inside of it, it'll start tilting around if you don't have anything in it. And so you'll want to do that, and you'll see a lot of bubbles coming out, so you want to keep that in there with the fluid until the bubbles stop and the fluid will go down a little bit. Another thing is just to make sure you tightened all these hose clamps right, and you'll see a little drippage. One that I had trouble with was just this tiny one. It had a little leak in it. And then other than that, just make sure you check the levels in your overflow tank after you do a little drive around. Those will probably go down. And the last thing is you just want to make sure you buy Subaru coolant, and you can always do the additive. I usually do that. It supposedly keeps the head gaskets from failing as quick, and it keeps the buildup from happening in there. It's always a good idea to use Subaru coolant unless you do a full complete flush, which means doing distilled water in there to flush out anything that's in there. Other than that, if you guys have questions, just let me know. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out a lot more videos. Thank you.